Institutional money is pouring into XRP, even as it drains out of major players like Bitcoin and Ethereum at an alarming rate. And trust me, the numbers speak for themselves. What's fascinating here is that XRP is showing some seriously unexpected strength, totally breaking away from its usual patterns over the past few years. It's not just holding its ground, it's consistently outperforming other top coins. Tired of fake gurus who claim to be expert traders but never trade live? I trade live on the second largest crypto exchange, where everything is transparent and results can't be faked. For over 440 days, I've consistently closed every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $34,000 in profits, with only 4% drawdown. Verified results, not empty claims. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in my profile and start copying my trades for free today. And the momentum is building. Just recently, news broke about a firm planning to add XRP to a multi-coin ETF fund. This is big because until now, the fund only included Bitcoin and Ethereum. On top of that, multiple firms are already filing for XRP-specific ETFs, which I'm betting will get the green light this year. These moves signal a shift. People are finally waking up to the reality that XRP isn't going anywhere. It's one of the original winners in the crypto space, and at this point, its staying power couldn't be clearer. That said, let me remind you, I don't have a financial background. This isn't financial advice. Please don't make any investment decisions based on what I say or write. Always do your own research. As I sit down to record this video, it's Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. XRP is holding at $2.28. while Bitcoin is sitting at a staggering $83,206. But let me tell you, just over an hour ago, at around 1:55 a.m., it looked like the market was on the verge of a free fall. XRP dipped to $2.24, and Bitcoin slid as low as $82,407. Thankfully, things have rebounded for now. Who knows where we'll be by the time you watch this? Could be a rough day, or maybe just a temporary blip. Either way, I'm not worried. This market cycle is far from over, and there are no top indicators signaling a crash. If anything, there's more reason to stay optimistic. Here's why. According to the Crypto Basic, XRP continues to shine even as crypto investment products face some challenges. Despite 5 consecutive weeks of outflows, nearly $1 billion in positive year-to-date inflows remain, a strong sign of resilience. And XRP, it's bucking the trend. While weekly outflows for the broader market have been the norm, XRP has stood out. Sure, it doesn't mean XRP will always see inflows, but this divergence is worth noting. Let's put it into perspective. Yes, we've seen weeks of outflows, but that's no cause for alarm. This isn't a sign the market is finished, or that institutional interest is waning. Remember, markets move in cycles. There are ebbs and flows both for institutional players and for retail investors like you and me. When we talk about investment products, it's important to include tools like crypto-backed funds, trusts, and other vehicles that accredited investors use. These aren't limited to ETFs. There's a whole ecosystem of options. Now back to the numbers. According to CoinShares, crypto investment products saw their 5th consecutive week of outflows last week, totaling $1.7 billion. They attribute this to cautious investor sentiment amid broader market uncertainties. But let's not overreact. This is part of the natural rhythm of the crypto space. Institutional money moves in waves, just like retail. XRP's performance amid these outflows shows there's still a lot to be hopeful about. So stay focused, stay informed, and remember, short-term noise doesn't dictate long-term success. The streak continues. 17 consecutive days of outflows, marking a first since CoinShare began tracking in 2015. Crypto products have now faced a staggering $6.4 billion in net outflows. The main culprits? US Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs, which have been struggling to find their footing. For context, Bitcoin products alone saw a jaw-dropping $1.28 billion in outflows, while Ethereum wasn't far behind, shedding $166 million. But here's where it gets interesting. XRP isn't following the same bleak path. While Bitcoin and Ethereum are facing the heat, XRP has held its ground, showing resilience amidst the chaos. And here's the silver lining. Despite 5 straight weeks of declines, the year-to-date picture isn't all doom and gloom. Net inflows since January 1st still stand at $902 million. The data, current as of March 14th and just released yesterday, paints a clear picture of the weekly roller coaster. Red dominates the charts for most, but XRP, it's holding steady. XRP's momentum keeps turning heads. It's up $1.8 million this week, a solid gain even if it's not the flashiest. For perspective, remember those weeks last year with negative flows across the board? If you followed my channel back then, you probably caught me pointing out those rare moments when XRP stood alone in the green. Back then, XRP gains were modest, maybe $200,000 in a week, while the rest of the crypto space bled. Fast forward to now, and XRP's strength has become far less of an anomaly. This week's numbers are a prime example. Bitcoin took a staggering hit with $978 million in outflows. Ethereum wasn't far behind with $176 million in the red. Yet, XRP remains resilient. Could the market be sending us a message here? Interestingly, Cardano also managed to squeeze into the green this week, up $400,000, but it's clear XRP is stealing the spotlight. Of course, there were weeks in the past when the market was firing on all cylinders, and XRP gains were still noteworthy. Feel free to fact-check me on this if I'm off, but the current dynamic feels different. XRP is showing strength in a market retreating hard. I'm going off memory here, but at its peak, XRP was seeing weekly inflows well over $100 million, maybe even $150 million if I'm remembering right. I'd need to double check, so don't quote me on that. But even though we're far from those glory days, seeing these massive outflows, yet XRP still staying in the positive, that's gotta tell you something, right? This isn't exactly normal historically, but honestly, I love to see it. I always believed XRP would make a big comeback. It was so clearly held back, almost unnaturally, by the US government. Let's be real, the SEC. But tides are turning, the world is healing, and now, here's the latest headline from the crypt. Hashtag seeks to add Solana, XRP, and Cardano to index ETF alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum. Big news in the crypto world. Hashtag has officially asked the US Securities and Exchange Commission to approve an amendment that would let the digital asset manager add XRP, Solana, Cardano, and other major altcoins to its hashtags NASDAQ Crypto Index US ETF, as per a filing on Monday. And honestly, that's the key takeaway here. Sure, there's a whole article about it, but let's cut to the chase. For XRP holders, the headline here is clear. Another major industry player is stepping up and acknowledging the value and longevity of XRP. They want it in the mix, and that says a lot. This is how countless people will start investing in crypto moving forward. Sure, you and I may be buying on exchanges and safely self-custodying, which, by the way, I hope you're doing. Don't be reckless. But let's face it, not everyone wants to figure out how to set up an account on Coinbase, Kraken, or Binance. Some people just want an easier way in, and ETFs like this are the gateway. There will always be people who just want a simple way to invest, something that gives them exposure to assets without all the heavy lifting. That demand isn't going anywhere. For those who aren't interested in doing deep research, it makes perfect sense to diversify by putting their money into an investment vehicle designed for that very purpose. I believe there's a whole group of people out there who won't dive headfirst into the details like you and I do. They won't be tuning into this channel to learn about XRP or discuss it, and that's okay. In the coming years, decades even, there will be a wave of these investors entering the space. What they'll likely gravitate toward are multi-coin index funds. Think of it like this. These funds could track the top 10, 50, or 100 coins, offering exposure similar to how an ETF tracks the S&P 500, giving investors a slice of the top 500 publicly traded US stocks. It's a familiar concept, just applied to the crypto world. And guess what? XRP will be in those indexes because it's already established itself as one of the early winners. Over time, more and more money will flow into XRP, not necessarily from people who understand it or care to learn, but simply because it's part of the pack. XRP is a frontrunner, and we're still in the early days. Momentum is building, and in the years ahead, it's going to grow far beyond what we see now. The future is much, much bigger than this. Alright, so here's the deal. I've got a bone to pick with this headline my buddies over at the Crypto Basic threw out there. XRP broke into price discovery against the Korean won, indicating a larger uptrend may follow. I saw this making the rounds all over social media, with people hyping it up in our community, saying, XRP's in price discovery now. Of course, not against the US dollar, but the Korean won. And honestly, I had to do a double take. My first thought, wait, what? That's weird. It just didn't add up. Now, I'll admit I'm about to rant because Let's be real. This is what the internet was made for, right? A virtual soapbox for people like me to air our grievances. And today, I'm using my platform to vent. Look, I like the Crypto Basic team, I really do. But damn, this story is just plain dumb. It should not exist. I read the whole thing, start to finish, and the more I read, the more I kept asking, where's the actual breakout? Like, is XRP really outperforming? What's going on here? So here's what's happening. They're saying XRP is breaking out against the one, but not the dollar. One fiat currency, but not the others. Intriguing if true, except it's not. Turns out they're talking about something that happened back in January. Yep, old news dressed up in new packaging. I mean, come on. If you're going to make a big claim, at least have the receipts. So they're claiming this means it's going to climb higher. Alright, I read the piece, and honestly, I was just annoyed that I wasted my time. But hey, if I had to endure that nonsense, I might as well get some joy out of ranting about it here. And that's exactly what I'm doing. The Crypto Basic, ugh, come on guys, you're killing me here. I mean, I like them, but seriously, get it together. Right now, I'm mad. Not really, but let's just say I'm passionately irritated. Anyway, here's the thing. The real reason I wanted to chime in. People in the community were sharing it around, hyping it up, saying it was breaking out. And I couldn't help rolling my eyes. Like, come on, did you even read the article? Just read it. If you had, you'd know that's not true. XRP isn't in price discovery yet. Not even close. Now, eventually, yeah, I think XRP will enter true price discovery. And when it does, it's going to show up across the board, against all fiat currencies in markets where it's traded. Why wouldn't it? Otherwise, you're creating bizarre arbitrage opportunities. Why on earth would speculators act like that? It just doesn't make sense to me. But let's dive into it, and I thought this was worth sharing. Rect Capital, a well-respected chart analyst with 542,000 followers, pointed out something interesting about Bitcoin. This recent 29% pullback might seem intense, but it's really not unusual. In fact, post-halving periods have seen similar drops, like the 32% retrace not long ago. Looking back, previous Bitcoin cycles had even steeper corrections. In 2021, major dips included drops of 31%, 55%, and 25%. And in the 2017 bull run, pullbacks of 34%, 38%, 40%, and 29% were just part of the journey. So, take a deep breath. This kind of volatility is part of the game. Sure, I know some people are feeling the pressure, maybe even panicking, but here's the thing. Over in the XRP community, we're not sweating it. Why? Because XRP has been crushing it, standing out as one of the top performing coins while the rest of the market takes a breather. History tells us the market always rebounds. If the past is any indication, it's just a matter of time before things turn around again. Chart analyst Mustache is at it again, sticking to his guns with a point that honestly makes a lot of sense. He's been relentless, beating the drum and driving the message home, and I respect that. Gotta hand it to him for standing firm because, quite frankly, I think he's spot on. Take a look at this Bitcoin dominance market cap chart he shared. It's showing a rising wedge pattern clear as day. He captioned it, "Altcoins, FOMC in 2 days, and Bitcoin dominance is at the end of a rising wedge pattern that's been forming for 4 months. Coincidence? A breakdown would be huge for altcoins." Now about the FOMC thing, yeah, Jerome Powell's gearing up for his usual act, trotting out to say something that'll whip the markets into a frenzy. That's just how it goes here in the US, thanks to the system we've got. The expectation is that interest rates will hold steady, but let's not kid ourselves. There will still be chaos. Markets love drama, and volatility on FOMC days is as predictable as the sun rising. The only real question is how wild it'll get. But honestly, I'm less focused on Powell's antics, and more hyped about the bigger picture, Bitcoin dominance. A breakdown here isn't just likely, it's inevitable. And when it happens, it'll be a game changer for altcoins. Bitcoin's price? It's likely heading higher, gearing up for its final parabolic surge. But here's the exciting part. Bitcoin dominance is expected to drop, setting the stage for altcoins to shine and potentially outperform. This shift is something we'll be watching like hawks. When Bitcoin dominance finally breaks out of its wedge, it'll be huge news. And you can bet I'll be celebrating right here with you. The moment it's crystal clear, I'll share all the details. And don't worry, you won't miss a thing. I'll keep you updated every step of the way. As Bitcoin dominance shifts, you know what that means for altcoins, right? Price is heading up, my friends. Oh, and someone else has been sounding this drum too, just adding to the excitement. Here's the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and ETH. so all the other altcoins. The chart compares this cycle, 2024 to 2025, with the last one, 2020 to 2021. The caption? History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And wow, you can see it. Key moments from the last cycle lining up eerily with what's happening right now. Not exactly the same, but close enough to feel like deja vu, right? The takeaway? This cycle isn't over yet, and the best may still be ahead. Reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say. It's your call, not mine.